I'm really curious as to what you feel has been your biggest challenge, your biggest surprise, and your biggest win. So we can break it down.
Okay, biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I really feel like the bakery is kind of like a fifth baby. I have two young girls and I have two dogs,
Okay.
who I'm really focused on. And the bakery just feels like another baby. So when I'm not there, I have separation anxiety. We're open 7 days a week, and I love being there. Like when I get
Oh,
there, I
God.
have this sense of relief. You know, I love meeting the customers. I love working in the front of house. I love customer service. I love talking to people, meeting people, talking about veganism and food. So when I'm
Mhm.
not there, I'm always like a little bit anxious and wishing I was
Mm.
there. But then when I'm there, I'm thinking about my fur babies and my girls
The
and
other
also
four,
wanting
right?
to be with them. So I feel a bit spread thin. I mean, this whole first year has been pretty intense, but um, I'm good. Like I have worked every weekend, minus a couple since 2 Novembers ago. So November 20,
Mm.
2022, the weekends are our busiest days. And I've just
Yeah.
always felt like it's important to be there, to support and to meet people.
Yeah.
So that's been challenging, but
That
worth it.
so many mothers can relate to that biggest challenge, just feeling
Totally.
pulled. Yeah.
Torn, yeah. Um, and then
Biggest surprise.
biggest surprise is probably the reaction to the lack of dairy offerings. Like we have not had that much pushback. I mean, we are still lined up
Oh,
out the door on weekends, and we're over a year in now. And I've always been scared that one day it's going to fall off a
right.
cliff. One day they're going to stop coming and they're going to, go back to their cafes that serve the dairy. But, looking at the numbers, serving 85,000 lattes, like, our baristas work more in the front of house than I do, but like there have not been a lot of complaints. There have been some people asking for the cow milk, but they seem fine, and I love that other big companies like Stumptown and Blue Bottle also
Uh-huh.
offer. They're obviously not vegan, but they have oat milk as their default. And I just feel like the world is starting to realize that oat
Yeah.
milk can substitute dairy in a latte. So I've just been so thrilled. I definitely
Mm.
pictured a few more conversations trying to convince people or inform them very gently about why we don't choose dairy and choose to carry dairy at the bakery.
Yeah. What is positive surprise? I didn't know if it was
How busy we've been.
absolutely that
Again,
that's
like,
your biggest surprise, right? That people have adopted and they've taken it in and they've said yes and they don't care that it's not cow milk. It's delicious and they want a delicious latte. That's
yes.
yeah.
And I mean all the food, like I just you know, I think it's natural to kind of have your fears and doubts. And,
Yeah.
after growing the bakery very slowly over the course of the past 13 years, I've always been really hesitant and scared to take that leap into brick and mortar. I knew how difficult it would be. Um, and I was scared. I told Darren, my partner, that, if it's dead, if nobody comes, we'll do a little reno and we'll move the cake wall up and we'll make the cafe smaller and we'll be a pickup window. I was like making these mental
Oh,
plans,
yes.
for if the bakery wasn't busy. And it has been overwhelmingly busy. Like I'm so lucky. I feel so grateful that people have supported and people like it,
Yeah.
and the neighborhood comes out and people come here from all neighborhoods. um
Yeah.
it's been, yeah, just so thrilling to see, and it really has shown me that the future of baking and food can be plant-based.
Yeah. You're doing the right
That's our
thing
mission.
and here they come. Yeah.
And
And
I wish other businesses would realize this. It's frustrating to see a restaurant have one plant-based option on the menu. They don't think
right.
there's a demand for it. We had a pop-up with a food truck and we had a 5 hour wait for food. We had a line up to the alley. We and
Yeah.
people need to see this. Like people want plant-based food, but it has to be good. And
Yeah.
it has to be satisfying, and maybe it has to resemble food that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
But there's a demand out there.
Yeah, there definitely is, and they want it to be good. I think that when we were talking earlier about the baked goods, and you don't want that first bite to be just sweet. That's where I see the mistakes, which I would make because I don't really know what I'm doing in baking. It's like they pull out the fat, so they pull out the butter, and they just add more sugar. And it's like, that'll work. And
Yes.
then here's the vegan option. But then it's awful. So then people don't want it next to all the other baked goods that are there that are not vegan. And so,
It's
oh,
like the
that makes
mass
me
produced.
crazy.
Me
Yeah.
too. If I
Oh,
see a product and the first ingredient is sugar, I
ugh.
don't want it. I
Okay.
will set it
Yeah.
aside. Even chocolate bars, like all these big companies are making these plant version of their chocolate bars, and unfortunately, very, very few have hit the mark. And
Yeah.
vegans are excited for it, and I'll even share it, but I don't know. I'm a chocolate connoisseur, and it's sugar, and I'm not interested in that. I want the flavor.
No, because we
So it's
can open a
frustrating.
bag of
I feel
sugar
like
and lick
they
it if we want to do that. I mean, you don't want like,
Who wants that? Yeah.
yeah.
They need to spend more money on their R&D. Like
Yeah.
it's frustrating that they haven't, they can't do what you just said is just pull out the fat and add more sugar.
Right. Right. No, definitely not. Okay. So your biggest win, which might be a connection to your biggest surprise, but
Yes.
what are your biggest win?
The biggest win is the fact that 200,000 people have walked through our doors since we opened. And yeah, it really proves to me that the future of baking is plant-based and people don't care about the label. They don't care whether it's vegan or whether it's not vegan. You know, the fact that a baked good is non-vegan doesn't mean it's going to be good. Same with a
Yeah.
vegan item,
Yeah.
but
Right.
we're proving that it can blow your mind, and the most important thing is the time
Yeah.
that is spent developing the recipe. And I think that unlike some business owners, we are driven by such a strong passion and mission, like we're not in this to get rich. We've never been in this to get rich. We want to prove something. And so I think for that reason, we do work harder and spend more time developing our recipes. We're always trying things with that mindset of what will the non-vegans think?
Yeah.
So to see
Exactly.
that people are ready for it. And I
Right.
always hope that we inspire the other businesses in the city to go more plant-based, like people really are looking for this. Awareness is increasing,
Mhm.
that I love that new Netflix documentary, the twin
Yeah.
study. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going viral. So much great information packed in there. I think that the world is ready. I think they just need amazing food to make it easier to go plant-based.
Exactly. Right. Because people don't want to give up the flavor and the
Yeah.
experience and the decadence and all of the things that you're saying today. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have to. They don't have to.
No, they don't. Gosh, I learned so much. Now I feel like I might be able to bake something.
You
I don't
can
know.
bake,
I'll
Dotsie.
connect with you and see what recipe that should be. But also just I just feel inspired and fired up. And I just feel like I want to just walk out now with on the street and be an activist because you
Aw.
have that gorgeous, full, beautiful, like activist undertone that's just like filled with love. It's just
Aw.
all love forward, compassion forward, all the right reasons. And I just, yeah, continue to wish you the very, very best.